This video was made possible by the EA Creator Network. Hey, thanks for slithering in. Welcome back to my channel. I am Slytherin. Today we are back in The Sims 4 doing a little bit of a speed build with a couple of the new kits that just came out, plus the recent base game update. We got a few new items from like West African type culture, which I absolutely love. So we are going to get into all of that in just a little bit. But first off, I gotta ask, how are you guys doing? How is your November? I personally just cannot believe how fast this month is just flying by. Before we know it, it's going to be 2026 and a whole new year, which I'm personally actually really excited about, to be honest. I think the older I get, the more excited I get for a year to be over, but I think that also has a lot to do with my line of work where holidays are just kind of really crazy. So at the end of the year, I'm just like, can we just be done? Because I need to slow down for a bit and breathe. But that's just a me thing as well. But I'm also trying to, enjoy the holiday season as well. But let's talk about this build for a little bit, shall we? The shape of the build is pretty much all together right now. I am in Windenburg, so I wanted to do this kind of like rustic modern type vibe. Very, I think, kind of Italian Tuscany vibes, I think. I had a few like reference photos that I was kind of going off of on Pinterest, but a lot of them I really wanted to use like the glass walls that we have in base game. So even though I say that, I still think maybe I went with the ones that we eventually got from the Garden Haven kit, because when we got the glass wall update, I think they updated that kit. It's a kit, right? I think so. That kit, that pack, or whatever, to have a version of the glass walls to kind of match the windows that they had. So I think that's what I'm using here. I honestly cannot remember, but hopefully you can kind of see that Tuscany vibe kind of going around. I have like this roofing that is very red, which I think is kind of like, it screams like that Italian Tuscany vibe to me anyway. Like, I personally love it. I was trying to figure out where to build this, and I guess I could have done it in Tartosa, but I didn't really want to. Nothing was looking right. Like, I kept bouncing from lot to lot, and then I ended up coming to my safe zone here in Windenburg because there's just so many different like little neighborhoods you can build in that are very different. And I feel like it's been a minute since I've been here in Windenburg, maybe, so I was actually really happy to be here. So we're off on one of these like little island lots. What I really wanted this build to have were a couple of like glass bump outs. As you can see, I'm putting one over here on this side of the build, and then I do another one on the other side, on like the right side of the build. But I also wanted this like little separation where there's like a glass hallway or like courtyard that you have to walk through, because I saw a ton of reference pictures for something like that. So I actually really had fun adding it into this build, and I really like how it came out. So I hope you guys do as well. I also really can't wait to get to the interior of this build because I had so much fun decorating with the new kits, the modern retreat kit and the garden to table kit. So good. Those items are chef's kiss, top tier, which honestly is not surprising. These two kits were created by custom content creators. The modern retreat kit was created by Tuds, and please, if I am like not saying these names right, once again, I'm so sorry. You guys know I am very bad at pronunciation in general, so oops. But I'll have them listed down below too. So we have Tud's Modern Retreat Kit. Very good items, so gorgeous. I can't talk about it too much now because we're not even onto the interior, but I'm just so excited. And then Brazen Lotus, I think, their garden to table kit. So good. But on top of that too, I also have not delved into the recent base game update that we had, which added a lot of West African items. So good. So good. Very bold, and I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of them, even if I'm not really using like a West African type theme build. I think it could be kind of interchangeable and like with other styles and things of that nature. So, anyway, back to the exterior of the build. I'm just really trying to get all of these details down. It's very boxy and lots of bump outs happening. And then I think the landscaping actually did take me a while. It's also kind of a weirdly shaped lot. It's kind of more long than anything, but it worked out. And I even got, I feel like, a decent sized backyard for the size lot that I'm on. You don't get much of a front yard because, as you saw, I kind of scooted the house up a little bit. But I don't know, it was really fun. And now these stairs were giving me such a hard time. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? So I think they're just going to stay as they are here. But we get a full backyard here with a pool. I end up getting a lot of nice little cozy seating spaces out here. There's a mini kind of garden on the other side, so we can talk about that a little bit. I use cottage living a little bit here where I added like 4 garden plots plus a chicken coop because I really like the idea of the garden to table vibe kind of coming through with this build a little bit. It's not really like I wouldn't put this as like a simple living lot trait or anything because you don't have that much space to work with for gardening, but there's a little bit where maybe at least your eggs are from garden to table kind of thing, and maybe some of your fruits and veggies, and like maybe there's an herb garden or something back there. I don't know, it's to your heart's content if you do grab this off at a gallery. But speaking of cottage living, I really did not limit my pack usage here, as usually I don't, but that's a me problem. Well, maybe. I don't know. It depends. Oh, that was weird. Okay. Anyway, so if you are missing some packs, there's probably some things you can kind of get away with, but I use a lot of horse ranch. I use a lot of for rent, and cottage living comes through. I think, like, what fencing do I use? I don't remember. Oh, I think I end up just using for rent. No, horse ranch, something like that. Then, of course, we have a bunch of ivy around this build where I use the ivy from Get Together, but also I layer it with some of like the dead ivy looking things from vampires. I felt like that gave it some texture that it was missing a little bit, and I really enjoyed that. And now you're going to get something very rare, an exclusive little peek of me doing a floor plan. Kind of crazy. I know. I don't typically leave those in, and I've talked about it before, is because I'm not very confident in my floor planning abilities. So when I usually know I'm recording, I feel like I'm just wasting a bunch of time, and I'm like, what am I doing here? It's like such a puzzle to me. And I like a good challenge, but and a good puzzle. However, it's really hard. Floor plans are really hard. That's where I struggle the most with. That's my opinion. Anyway, so, but here you can see I kind of added some platforms and like some stone and things to our little walkway. I use these doors from, I think those are from Discover University. I just felt like they matched the vibe very well. And I really like the dark brown tones, so I definitely lean into a lot of the browns and blacks on this build. And now we're trying to figure out where the heck these stairs are going to go. This one took me quite a bit of a minute. So on the one side of the build where there's only one floor level, that is where we're going to have like a little living room and a little bit of a kind of maybe like a dining space, I guess. I don't know. There's like 2 dining rooms in this build, and maybe that's weird, but I feel like that's okay. I think that's fine, especially if you have like large parties or whatever. And on this side of the build, we are going to have like a kitchen and another dining space on the first floor. And the second floor, I end up putting 2 bedrooms and 1 office. So we'll get into all of that in a little bit, but that's kind of like a little sneak peek at the interior there. And lucky for you, you got to see the floor planning process, which is kind of crazy. Here, I'm trying to figure out, I kind of wanted a funky shaped pool, but I also wasn't liking anything I was coming up with here. And I was like, how do I do this? And then I was like, you know what? Why am I putting so much brain power into figuring out this pool when I can just do a basic round one? So that's what I did. And now here is what I was talking about earlier, where we have our little gardening area. I like this being separate from the rest of the backyard, only because, I don't know, you might not want your chickens near the pool, or I don't know. I feel like it could get kind of stinky, maybe kind of fast. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have chickens, so I can only imagine. I assume it would. But I do end up kind of fencing it off a little bit because I know chickens can kind of roam around a lot, and they kind of have a really small space. So I probably wouldn't like fill up this chicken coop. I can't remember how many chickens you can have in each coop, but I probably wouldn't do more than like 2 or 3 personally, only because there's not much space for them to kind of chill, which maybe kind of sucks. So if you don't like that, you can definitely like alter it, change it however you feel, or remove the fence. And if you don't mind your chickens walking around, then go for it. Here we are adding some more detail to some of the build because I felt like it needed a little extra something. So I used Snowy Escape, like those little, I don't know, slats with, what do you call them? Whatever. I don't know. I used those, but then I framed them with some curtain rods from, I think, the Modern Luxe kit curtain rods, like the first kit where was it Desert Luxe? It was Desert Luxe. Just kidding. That's the one. Ay. Anyway, now I am just picking out some planters and some greenery for around the pool. I thought it would be cool to have like a stand of plants and things and just other options for gardening in the backyard besides what I already put. So maybe this is more of your herb garden back here or something. And I used this like table from Blooming Rooms kit, which I actually forgot we had. So I'm really glad I actually remembered that we have it. So that was fun. So I'm pulling out some more of those items here too. And I thought it was really cute. I really enjoyed how it came together. I'm using the Riviera Retreat kit a lot for this pool to kind of decorate it, make it look a little fancy and match with the vibe of the build in general. And I thought it came out pretty nice. We also have a bit of a porch area here, which I end up putting in that sunken platform spot. At first I thought it'd be like a seating area, but I do a seating area over here. And this is where some of the new kit items start kind of making an appearance. Like this pergola is new, and a lot of the seating I use over here is new. So we'll get to that. But anyway, oh, and I do this little grill area, which I thought was really cute. So this is so fun. I really like this. This is, I think, mixing bits from both kits. Honestly, I can't remember, and it's really hard for me to actually see the icons right now, so you'll have to take my word for it. So I used this like little stone bench to kind of put a divider between the grill and the seating area, which I thought was fun, but it's also more space for seating. Here's one of the new base game rugs that we got with the update. I absolutely adore it. So there was another point in this build where I was furnishing a room and I was like, I need a rug, and I need a rug fast. And I'm looking and I'm like, I wish we had more base game rugs. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, that might Oh my god, that might not even be this build that I'm talking about. So I have recently finished like 3 different builds, this one being one of them. And one of the other builds is a base game only build. So I think that's where my head just went. So oops, there's a little sneak peek of a story, I guess, for a future build. Anyway, I just really adore this furniture set from the Modern Retreat kit. Like that couch and these chairs, they're just so lovely. And yeah, I'm obsessed. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of these. I feel like a lot of the creator kits that we get, I use all of the time. I mean, how could you not? The quality is just so good, guys. It's just so good. I I adore them so much, but of course, if you had to get any kits, I feel like, I know kits can be very like a controversial kind of discussion here because it's definitely feels like a money grab. It really is a money grab from EA, honestly. But but if you do happen to want to get some kits and maybe you can't get custom content for some reason, like if you're on console or maybe you just don't want to do custom content, which is totally fair. I know I don't. Um this is a really good like avenue that you can explore to add some fun, good quality items to your Sims games. So that is just my personal opinion. Anyway, maybe I am biased because I do have the items in my game, but I do adore it. Speaking of which, I probably should have mentioned it earlier. It's so bad, but I did get the kits through the EA Creator Network, so thank you to EA and the Sims team for making that possible. I really appreciate it. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. I'll put a disclaimer on the screen or whatever, but oops, my bad. Anyway, here's the hot tub, and that's pretty much the gist of the backyard. So that is pretty much done. I think we go through some of the landscaping together, but I do cut a lot of it out. At least I thought about cutting a lot of it out, so hopefully I actually did, because it did take a while for me to really figure out what I wanted to use out here. But we do end up leaning into like this lavender plants and like a lot of purple and white flowers and things. So I really thought that was fun. And yeah, the front was kind of hard because I was like, how do I do a path to the front door? And the lot is weird because technically you're just on an island and I don't know, you just kind of show up here. So it's kind of hard to go off lot to kind of figure out a path and all of that nature and good stuff. So hopefully this works out pretty well. We got to just do what we have to, I think. To be honest, I feel like a lot of the builds I've done recently, I've struggled with the landscaping. I don't know what that's about. Landscaping has always been one of my favorite things to do in the game, but recently it's felt like more of a chore. I guess I go through phases with that too, because sometimes I like only want to do exteriors, and at other times I only want to do interiors. Like I'm just so like wishy-washy like that, but I think a lot of us can be sometimes. Repetition, sometimes it can be like the thief, I guess, to creativity. I don't know, but if does that even make any sense? I should give you guys some context because I'm at the point where I might start getting a little rambly. So my boyfriend has started a new job where he works like super early. He starts at like 7:30 in the morning, which is insane. Yeah, so that sucks, but pretty much he started getting up really early and like going to bed early, and then like it was kind of hard for us to really have much time to kind of like sit and just hang out a little bit, even though it's kind of crazy because I'm on a different work schedule now and it's really hard. So what has happened is I have started training myself to get up early. And if you know me, guys, I am not an early bird. I am definitely a night owl. I prefer to stay up late. But so this has been quite an adjustment for me, which is kind of why it's been a little hard to kind of figure out when I'm playing games and doing these kinds of recordings and things of that nature. But so far, it's been about a week and a half where I've been pretty steady getting up at like 6:30. Well, not really 6:30. It's like between 5:30 and 6 actually. So it's been interesting. So pretty much I am right now, it is 7 o'clock in the morning doing this voiceover, and I've got maybe half a cup of coffee in me at this point, and I'm just kind of squeezing these things in before I have to start getting ready for work myself. And that's been my life. It has been my life. Anyway, we are on to the interiors, and I've got this first little dining space all figured out. It's up on a platform here. It's really super cute. I also imagine this could be at a place where maybe if you have people over or your own family, this is like the board game room, right? This is where you come and play all of your tabletop games, your monopolies, your cards, etc., whatever. Obviously, you can't really do that in The Sims because you need a very special table, but that is really pretty much my thought process. Here I am adding this beautiful, oh my god, this rug. It is so pretty. I cannot get enough of it. And I'm mixing it in with some base game items like this TV and this TV stand and these pillows. Oh my god, I had such a hard time finding these pillows because I don't know why. Why do you have to name it different than the other pillows in the game? So whenever I want to add pillows, I use the search bar and I type in pillow, and then you get all of the pillows. But for these, they named it cushion. Cushion. Like, why? 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 I couldn't find it for the longest time. And eventually I had to like Google it. I'm like, what are the item names to these base game items in general? Because I had such a hard time finding them. And yeah, so if you're looking for it, it's cushion. But they have such beautiful swatches. So I'm obsessed with them so, so much. And I'm so happy I was able to get this end table out. There's this one end table in the... It might be... Is it from the update? No, it's from the modern retreat kit, I believe. I think so. But they're like little animals. It's so cute. If I miss... Is it from the update or is it from... I have this article up. Hold on. Let me see. I think it's from the modern retreat kit, actually. I don't think it's from the update but it matches so well with the items from the update too. Especially this like little vase here from Jungle Adventure, and I merged a little new plant in here. Plus we got so many new plants. I'm obsessed. I use a lot of these items frequently throughout this build. And then, so we have this nice little living space right here in the glass room. Maybe not the best place for a living space because I can imagine it gets pretty hot, but I don't know. That view is pretty nice. I think I would enjoy it. And then right off the entryway here, we have a little bit of a bathroom. I do end up changing the wallpaper because I end up not liking it too much. I might even change the flooring a little bit. It becomes more brown. I think I use Life and Death wallpaper instead, but I changed that off camera. I'm using the Life and Death shower here, which I think works fairly well, in my opinion, with a lot of these items. So I really like how that came out. And then this is the only bathroom I do on camera. The other ones are pretty much just a copy and paste version of it because we're all about efficiency here. Okay. And when you do, even though this isn't like, it's not a large build, it's a 2-bedroom build, but it's also 2.5 bath and like 2 dining rooms and I don't know, a large space outside or whatever. Anyway, I like to work smarter and not harder, so I copy and paste a lot. It just makes sense, you know, unless I really want a bathroom to look a little different anyway. But yeah, this is the bathroom, and now we're going to kind of decorate this little walkway here with a lot of greenery and plants. There's really anything functional in here, so it is what it is. I thought about putting some kind of like, I don't know, art easel or something in here. So I guess if you wanted something, your Sims could step up onto this platform. I had it like where you couldn't, because it was like two steps up from the floor or whatever, the platform. Nothing is making sense. I'm so sorry. Anyway, your Sims can walk up onto this platform. So if you wanted to put an art easel here on one of these platforms, you totally could. Or I guess any other activity, but probably nothing. Like, you can't do a piano, and you might not be able to do a like chess table or anything, but you can definitely do an art easel, or a microphone, I guess, could work too, maybe. So something like that. But yeah, I thought this was really fun, and I even used that little statue from Decor to the Max. I tried to use the one from the tattoo kit, not kit, the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. That's what it is. Okay, I think I need a coffee break. All right, that was a bit of a longer break than I anticipated. Where were we? We're furnishing or decorating this little walkway. I'm still completely obsessed with it. I just think it's so lovely. And honestly, I would not mind to have one of these things in a future home of mine. Like, add it to the list of things I want in my dream home, because it is adding up quickly. Back in this corner of the build, I don't know if it's a corner, but this bump out over here, this is where we end up fitting the kitchen. It's a pretty large kitchen. I'm actually pretty happy with it. So first, I'm kind of laying it out here, and then we'll come back here to clutter it up a little bit. But I just wanted to kind of get the basics around first, and then we are going to kind of lay out our dining room area as well. So very, very fun. I'm trying to figure out how to center my sink, because I don't know. Am I the only one who that bothers? I like to have my sink in more of a centered area if I can. The sink and the stove, but definitely the sink, especially if the sink is under like a pair of double windows. I would very much prefer if it was more centered. So I was able to make it work by merging some of the half tile counters in with the full tile counters. So thank God for move objects on, to be honest. And this should be functional. I don't have any like worries that it wouldn't be functional. So I just, at this point of doing the voiceover, I haven't play tested it yet. But if it changes, then you will know for sure. At first, I was going to keep this like wide open, but I mean, I guess it still kind of is wide open. But I felt like having some separation from the kitchen to dining was kind of important for the flow of things. So I put up a wall and added a spandrel here, and I thought that was really nice. And then here is where I discovered the many gorgeous swatches on this new piece of artwork we got from the West African base game update. It's so pretty. Oh my god. I have this one, and then I use one upstairs to, it pretty much determined the color scheme to the kids' bedroom upstairs. I just thought it was top tier. Oh my god, I love it so much. I'm such a sucker for it. And the other swatch I use, we'll talk about it later, but it reminds me so much of Lion King. And I am a huge Lion King fan. Like, it is definitely top 3 Disney movies for me. Like, I absolutely love it. It just made me so happy. I don't know. I think this is one of my favorite base game updates. I think so. I think I have to say that. Yes, it is. Here, I'm trying to figure out the dining room layout. I was like, is it weird to have the table out this far? And then I thought about tucking it back here into the glass alcove, I'm going to call it. I don't know. But I was like, no, I don't like that either. So I put it back. And back there, I end up putting like this little bar area kind of thing. So I use this bar specifically from the Party Essentials kit, because it made more sense to have it up against the glass versus some of the other bars. Like, just like, it's not as much detail on the like backside or the front side of the bar. I don't know, because it works both ways. Okay, I'm I'm gonna get myself together here. Okay. But I just absolutely love how this turned out. I matched it with these counters from, I think that's Spa Day. And I add the little like coffee maker up here. So that's if you want coffee, you have to go to the bar. Okay. You just have to. It's not in the kitchen. And I think that's fine. I think it works out pretty well. I like how that area turned out. And we just add a couple of other like little clutter pieces up here, like maybe some ingredients for drinks and things in there. And then we'll move on to cluttering up the kitchen a little bit. And I enjoyed how this actually did come out. And I had a really good time furnishing this build. I don't know. I just loved it so much, and I still love it even watching it now, cuz sometimes I'm like, why did I do that? Huh? I even put a dishwasher in this kitchen. I don't put dishwashers in enough of my kitchens. So like this kitchen was big enough to be able to do that. And then we get some open shelving over here because the wall needed something. We have this pizza oven. We have a mixer on one of the counters too. Like there is just so much. So I really lean into the kitchen clutter kit in here, and a lot of those other items. I feel like Cool Kitchen, I always lean towards all of those kinds of fun things. And then we get a dish drying rack over here and a bread box from Parenthood, paper towels, and just random little other, like that vase and fruit thing that's from the painter's kit, artist kit. I honestly I can't remember the name of that kit either. So yeah, I really like how this kitchen came out. It's nice and cluttered, and I do believe I left a counter open here next to the fridge for your prep table work or whatever. So this should be like I said, I have no doubts that this would not be functional. Yeah, and we just get some artwork up here as well, just to kind of add some interest to the walls back here. And yeah, I think that's almost about it for the kitchen, to be honest, or at least as much as I want to say about the kitchen. I really like this new cutting board item too. That is so cute. I love it because it's just like, oops, I walked away from the kitchen and left all my stuff out. Oh, that's funny. Maybe I didn't leave that one empty and I left the other one empty by the sink here. That might be the one I left empty for prep and things. But yeah, that is pretty much the kitchen here. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. But of course, we have to clutter up some of these shelves over here as well, too, with a lot of items from the kitchen clutter kit and some plants and things. So both shelves are cluttered, and then we're going to come over here and do like a little reading nook. And I think this came out pretty cute. I didn't know what else to really put over here, so I put a bookshelf. I use these little wall decor pieces from the Modern Retreat kit to kind of add a backing to this and add a little more interest, so you don't just see like the stone back there, and it looks more intentional that way too. And then we get this little chair and ottoman. Your sim might not be able to get into that chair. You might have to pull out the ottoman a little bit, but I just like the look of it. There's a lot of seating, so I feel like it's okay to have at least one place like this where, maybe it's not completely functional, but oops, my bad. And then, yeah, we just cluttered a shelf up with some more books, some lamps, and some decals and everything. I'm using the tool mod to size up this bookends over here. I forget what kit that or pack that one comes from. But yeah, and then we pair it with a rug from Life and Death. Here, I added a wall to kind of separate even more from like the backyard entrance, and that gave me the perfect excuse to use the brand new fireplace that we also got with the Modern Retreat kit, and some more artwork over here. But ultimately I really like it, and in the back entrance there I end up using, I think, a lot of the items from the Grange mudroom kit. Yeah, I use these three things actually, and I think I put a couple of clutter items up here, but nothing too much happening over here. Maybe we throw a rug down or something. I honestly cannot remember. Oh, I remembered I needed a trash can. Haha. Oops. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much about it for down here. Oh, paranormal stuff has entered the chat, apparently. This shelf just fits so well for some reason. I don't even know why. I was like, this purple really, like, It's nice. It's a good purple. So I add some clutter up on this shelf too. And then maybe put, do I do this? What do I do here? I forget. I'm watching it for the first time with you guys too. Oh, do I leave this little bench area? I think I might. We'll see. I don't know. Something happens down here. I can't remember. I think I might leave this one. Yes, and then I add this pillow as well to this space. And I'll say it again, I think I am going to get a ton of use out of these pillows because these swatches are just so pretty. But we are on to our first bedroom right now. As you can see, I already have that artwork up where it was giving me like Lion King vibes. So I use this purple base game wallpaper that I don't think I've ever used, at least in this swatch. Not that I can remember, and if I'm wrong, then oops, sorry. I was actually laughing at myself when I did this bedroom because I was like, the whole build, I've been sticking to these browns and blacks, and then I come up here to do a kid's bedroom and I just like throw up color all over the place. Like, anyone else do that where like your whole homes, like everything is just same color scheme and nice and cohesive, and then you get to like the bedroom for a kid and it's just completely wacky. Not that wacky is a bad thing. I like wacky. I should say that. But like it's just kind of funny because then when you look at it from the bird's eye view, you're like, wow, that really stands out. But I absolutely had a blast playing with these colors, the oranges, the yellows, the blues, the purples. It was so much fun. And I loved cluttering up this little end table. It's not really a dresser, but like, let's pretend that it is, okay? And I felt like using the imaginary friend doll in that base swatch there was just the perfect combination of colors. And what bed do I end up using? I might have stuck with this Parenthood bed, which I feel like I haven't used in quite some time. And then that rug is from Horse Ranch, I believe, and it's just perfect for all of the different colors happening in here. So, yes, really fun bedroom. I feel like maybe the sim here is really into animals, nature, wild, but like purple and orange, I guess, and blues. I don't know. That is your story to tell if you do play in this build. What else do I end up getting in here? Just some clutter and some more toys and stuff, I think. And do I end up with a desk? I do. I keep this desk here. So they don't have a computer, but it's a space that your sim can come and sit and do their homework and all of that good stuff. And we just get some more like posters and decals on the wall. And it's a really fun room. Have I said that before? I might have said that. So let me tell you guys a quick little story because I literally just got home from work. It's so funny. I like did half of this voiceover in the morning and now I'm like, huh, hey guys, it's 5:15 p.m. and I'm back. And that doesn't usually happen with me and my voiceovers. I like to try and do it, at the same time all at once because then I lose track of what I said. Because that was a long time ago when I was last talking to you guys and I had a long work day. I actually had to go down into the office and I don't normally have to do that. Usually I'll go into like shops and stuff because of my job title and I don't have to go out to the office because it's also like an hour from where I'm at. But we had our big holiday kickoff party today, so made the exception and got my butt down there. But yeah, a lot of socialization has happened today and ouch. If you guys are like me and you have a social battery that isn't really large, then I think you would understand that. But anyway, moving on to the main bedroom, the parents' bedroom, where our color scheme of browns and blacks kind of continue. Not kind of, they definitely continue. And in this one, I think there's like little pops of red around, which was actually really fun to play with. I used this bed here. Is that one from For Rent? I think it might be. And then I think these are base game end tables. I hope those are base game end tables. But I matched them with the lamp from the new West African update thing that I absolutely love and paired it with the rug here. Oh, we even bring purples in here. I forgot I did that. Okay, so there's somewhat of a balance between the bedrooms, I guess, in that case. So, I don't know. It's fun. And I always used this dresser from Cottage Living. It is one of my favorite dressers because I just love the attached mirror to it. I just feel like it's so classy but also traditional, and like I would love a dresser like that, to be honest. I really would. And I should probably really start thrift shopping for these things because I'm sure there's some somewhere, right? There's got to be. I also end up using this couch, and for some reason, it fit very well in here. That is a high school year's couch, I think. I don't know. I was really surprised at how well that fit. I don't ever use that very often, if at all. Like, it's very rare. It's not my go to couch. So, interesting. I thought it was fun. So, we're going to get some more artwork, I think, up here. Maybe a sconce. And I forget what I put on the other side of this room, to be quite frank with you. Um, I couldn't put a desk because the last room we're going to do is literally an office. So that would be weird. I guess we're going to, oh, I guess I just put another dresser. And I probably grab a plant or something, knowing me. Oh no, a little lounge chair. There's a lot of good, like, chilling space up here in this bedroom. That's fun. I like that. Cool. I'm happy I did that. Oh, good job, Simdarin. Anyway, we are on to the final bedroom, not bedroom, office in this build. With all the glass walls, it was a little hard for me to kind of figure out the layout. I tried to do the desk in the middle here with like facing like your back towards the window, because like imagine you're working from home and you get on a video call and you just have this gorgeous view behind you and you can make everyone you work with jealous. I wish I could do that. Can you tell? That would be so fun. But I ended up moving it up against a wall, and I think I put do I put a piano in here? We'll have to see. Oh, this fun little thing I did with the end table and the plants here, and then I picked one of those lights that hang down a little lower. That's like a little plant light. Isn't that cute? I wouldn't know too much about it because I do not keep plants alive very well, unfortunately for me. So can't say it, but people I know do that. So there we have it. You know, it's somewhat accurate. So I guess you guys are just going to have to let me know if you've made it this far, if you are a plant killer or if you have a green thumb. My father has a green thumb. I did not inherit that. No, I do not give me a plant, but I love plants. It sucks, right? Okay, so I'm trying to find a piano. I do find this stand-up piano. Okay, perfect. So I was correct, which is awesome. But as you guys know, this is the last room. So we are actually going to hop into live mode in just a quick second, and we will kind of look through the build together that way. See you soon. And here we are in live mode. We are on this little island piece where we have our rustic modern home. I think it looks kind of cool here. The reds I think pop out, but I really like the stone look, and just being surrounded by nature is always a big plus. Our sim is already walking down her little hallway here. How cute is that? But she is going to get us started and start testing things out. But let's take a quick little overview here. On this side of the build, we have a little living space, our entry, a bathroom, the dining area, then you have this sun hallway room thing, whatever you want to call it, that is here. Then we have a little half bathroom, and you come in here into the dining and then into the kitchen. Upstairs here we have 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a little chest area here, and then like a little office slash music room. Look at our sim reading here. As you can see, I think I've mentioned previously that you probably wouldn't be able to use this chair back here, but you can definitely use this, and you know what? It's for the vibes, okay? So first, when you enter in, you are met with this beautiful little living space. Sorry, I'm getting into walls here, but you're in this beautiful living space here. I think this turned out pretty gorgeous. We even have a purse on the chair, which I think was fun. Kind of a little nod to just throwing things around when you first get home. We'll take a quick look at the entryway here. Nothing too exciting. We've got a little makeshift plant here, a mirror, and then obviously our bathroom is right in here, which is fully functional. Over here is our little gaming, tabletop gaming space or extra dining space if you have like large parties or something. I just thought this was a really fun opportunity to add in some more seating areas for your Sims. I also put in this topiary bonsai thing. I wonder if that's functional. Maybe we'll get our Sim over here to try it real quick. Here she comes. Yes, it is perfectly functional. Beautiful. Look how cool this is. This room, I'm just obsessed with it. We'll let her keep doing that. Let's walk through our little sunroom here. And you have to get it in first, like, POV. Because look at this. Look how beautiful the sun is shining. You have beautiful plants around and clutter. On this side, you can take a look at the backyard and the landscape out there. Over here, just some more plants and a little statue here from Decor to the Max. And then this front view, look at that. Oh, could you imagine? It's just so pretty in here. And then of course over here we walk into our stairs, our little reading area, our half bath over here. And yeah, I really love this living space, and I'm still pleasantly surprised with how this paranormal shelf works in this room, and I don't know, it just worked very well. I can't explain it. And this is our dining area and bar with coffee station over here. Maybe we'll have our Sim make some coffee. I could go for a cup, honestly. And just take a moment. Look how cozy this is with the fireplace going. I honestly would love to live here. Here's our Sim making coffee. Yum yum. Can't wait to have a cup. Let's take a look over here in our kitchen. We have lots of fun little different appliances. We have the slow cooker here. On this wall we have the pizza oven, a dishwasher, clutter on our shelves, more clutter on this shelf over here, even clutter on top of the fridge, just a little bit. And then over here we have our big appliances. We have our fridge and our stove. Let's serve some lunch. Let's do let's do, you can like fitness, that's fine. How dare you? I was trying to figure out what was for lunch today. Oops, I didn't went too far. Let's just do hollow. Of course, we gotta make sure our kitchen is functional. So this is the countertop that is free for you for prep. I guess that's a little hard if you do like the cooking together kind of interaction, because then you don't have another area for prep, but you can always clear things off if you need to. Speed things up a little bit. Oh, I guess you don't have to use the stove for that, but I'm pretty sure the stove would be perfectly functional. I'm not too concerned about it. We'll put it away. She's just gonna go do push-ups. I want to head outside here real quick and test a few things out. Let's actually purchase some chickens. Let's get 2. And then maybe we'll come and scatter feed nearby. Here they come. I'm going to lock for all chickens so that they stay here. I think this could work pretty well as long as you don't have too many chickens. Let's also maybe purchase some seeds here. And then let's just plant. Oh, basil. You can't do anything else? Oh, I have to click plant oversized crop. That might help, right? She's cross-stitching. She must have that in her inventory. There. I just want to make sure this works for us too. Look at that. So you can kind of have somewhat of a garden to table thing. I'll water all of these for you guys. I don't know. These might transfer through the gallery. Maybe. I haven't put it up on the gallery yet. I'm very curious about this hot tub. Let's try and get in because it's in a platform. So, oh, look, it's going to work. Oh, perfect. Welcome wagon. Goodbye. No, thank you. Oh, this is beautiful. Hold on. Oh my god, you can see her eyelashes. Look at that view though. Okay. Oh. Okay, I didn't know she was gonna do some push-ups like that. Cool. Alright, well that was the hot tub. That works. We also have some more planters over here that you can use if needed. A nice little pool. And then of course our grill and little seating area here, which I think I would spend a ton of nights here. Like imagine summer nights here just reading or I don't know, hanging out with some friends or something. That would be so cool. All right, I think it's time for us to come upstairs for a little bit. This is our little landing hallway area. Nothing too exciting. We have a little chess table here. Our bathroom here is just a copy and paste option from the same one that we did downstairs. That was such a weird way to say it. Here is our kids room. So I'm just gonna, I guess you don't have to check the dust level. Just come here. Just go here. Let's see. I want to make sure we can maybe relax on this bed because this is quite a tight squeeze, but it looks like we made it through all right, which is good. That's pretty much all I really wanted to make sure was functional in here, because then this desk will work perfectly fine and your sim will be all good to go. Across the hallway here is our other bedroom. We'll have her come and relax in here. I think this one came out really nice. It looks pretty cozy with like the browns, reds, and some of the purple accents as well. Again, we're using a lot of the West African base game update items that we got. I think these are just so pretty. I'm still so obsessed with the quality of these items, from the artwork to the cushions. So good. And finally, we have our office space. Here you can actually come play your pianos and watch your chicken. How funny is that? That would be hilarious. This is very convenient. Keep an eye on those guys down there, okay? And I will make sure that our computer works here as well. Let's play a game. Lovely. Right, and this Rustic Modern home is now up on the gallery for you guys to grab and enjoy as you see fit. Here are all the little pictures, and I do want to also point out again that there was no limit to my pack usage here, so there are definitely a ton, especially a lot of kits being used, unfortunately, so I apologize about that, but hopefully you like this build. Well, that has been today's build of a Rustic Modern home in The Sims 4. I hope you guys really did enjoy this one as much as I did. Big shout out to my channel members as always for supporting me in this way, but if you cannot support by being a member, definitely don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Those are free ways to support and they really help me out. We'll let our sim here enjoy her movie, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye!